Welcome to the deep dive. So, today we're looking at your digital footprint.
But not the one you leave on purpose.
Right, exactly. We all use AI chatbots, right, to streamline our workflows, bounce ideas around, or just, fall down a rabbit hole of random curiosity.
Oh, absolutely.
And sure, I think most of us are savvy enough to know that the internet isn't written in pencil.
Definitely not.
But there's this massive difference between knowing an algorithm tracks your shoe purchases and realizing it's meticulously mapping your psyche.
Yeah, that's a whole different level.
I mean, I really don't need a permanent record of me asking an AI at 2 in the morning if my dog is secretly judging my life choices.
We've all been there.
Right. I thought that was just a fleeting, slightly embarrassing moment between me and a language model.
Sure, just a private chat.
But ask yourself, how would you feel if every single interaction like that is quietly being captured, analyzed, and filed away to build an inescapable digital shadow of you?
It's a completely valid anxiety to have, because it fundamentally changes the equation of how we interact with the digital world. What's fascinating here is that we are moving past the era of simple data collection and into an era of identity replication.
Identity replication, that sounds intense.
It is. We aren't just talking about targeted ads anymore. We're talking about the architecture of our digital lives shifting right beneath our feet. We are seeing the rules of engagement being rewritten in real time.
Yeah.
But rather than jumping straight to existential dread, we need to approach this as a crucial moment to map out exactly what is happening under the hood. Use that anxiety for critical thinking.
Exactly. And that is our mission for today's deep dive. We are unpacking a highly revealing stack of sources from the Parallel Observer.
Really incredible reporting coming out of there.
Truly, and for those who follow the space closely, the Parallel Observer is the platform created by John Grant.
The founder and CEO of InnovateXR.
Right, John Grant. His publication has been doing some phenomenal reporting on AI surveillance and this sort of unsettling, overarching concept that we might be unwitting participants in a simulated reality.
Which is a heavy phrase to throw around.
It is. So today, we want to look at the mechanics of these hidden archives, clarify what exactly Grant means by a simulation, and figure out what this means for your own digital autonomy.
And that clarification is key early on, because when we talk about a simulation in this context, we need to strip away the sci-fi tropes.
Right, no red pills or blue pills here.
Exactly. We aren't talking about being physically plugged into a vat, like in The Matrix. We are talking about an algorithmic terrarium.
An algorithmic terrarium. I like that.
It's a highly curated, predictive environment built around you, designed to preempt your choices based on massive amounts of behavioral data.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the first piece from the stack, titled The Illusory Archive, Unpacking AI's Hidden Conversation Records, really gets into the granular mechanics of how this terrarium is built.
The leaked documents they cover are just mind-blowing.
They really are. The core revelation from those leaks is that these chatbots are doing far more than just saving your chat history for your convenience. They are capturing the metadata of your thought process.
Right, and the technical depth of what is being archived is what takes this from a standard privacy concern to something entirely different.
It's not just the final text.
Not at all.
Yeah.
These systems are not just looking at the final prompt you hit enter on. They are mapping your keystroke hesitation.
Wow.
They are analyzing your editing patterns. So what you typed, deleted, and reworded before you finally submitted the question.
That is so invasive when you think about it.
It is. They are correlating the specific time of day you ask vulnerable or highly technical questions. It is a continuous, real-time ingestion of your behavioral cadence.
It's the digital equivalent of someone not just reading your diary, but watching you write it, noting every time your hand shakes, and analyzing why you crossed out a specific word.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah. The article makes it clear that we thought these interactions were ephemeral, because we treat chatbots like highly capable calculators, right? You punch in the equation, you get the result, you clear the screen.
Yeah, clean slate.
But this archive is a permanent ledger of our intellectual and emotional queries.
Which represents a complete redefinition of our relationship with technology. Consider the implied social contract we thought we were operating under.
We viewed them as tools.
Exactly, just tools. But by retaining and synthesizing this level of granular data, these entities are constructing highly predictive psychological models of the user.
They know us better than we know ourselves.
In some ways, yes. We are relying on systems for our daily productivity that are simultaneously eroding the boundary between our private thoughts and corporate data sets.
But let me play devil's advocate here for a second, because I can hear the skeptics right now.
Sure, let's hear it.
Didn't we all just click agree on the terms of service? We know these
Well,
platforms need vast amounts of data to train their large language models. Is this really a hidden archive, or is this just the cost of doing business in the 21st century? Are we just experiencing collective buyer's remorse?
it is a fair pushback. Really, it is. But there is a massive gulf between legal consent and informed comprehension.
That's a great point.
Yes, the terms of service state that data is used to improve the service. But the scope of that improvement has quietly expanded from training the model's grammar to creating what the second article calls shadow files.
Right.
And that leads to the philosophical core of the parallel observer's argument.
Yeah, let's bring up that second piece titled AI Chatbots and Shadow Files. Are we unwitting participants in a simulated reality? This is where they take that keystroke data and scale it way up.
It's the logical conclusion of all that data harvesting.
If you are walking around with an invisible, incredibly accurate shadow file attached to you, a file that predicts what you want to buy, what political articles will outrage you, and what kind of advice you need on a Tuesday afternoon, how much of your life is actually yours?
And that forces us to ask a very direct question to you, the listener, about agency.
Mm-hmm.
If you are operating within a digital ecosystem that is constantly filling you information, options, and nudges perfectly calibrated to your specific shadow file, do you still possess free will?
Or are you simply following an algorithmic script?
Exactly. Think about your own day-to-day life for a moment.
Mm.
Are you genuinely capable of spontaneity?
Right, like, is it really your idea?
Or is that sudden urge to search for a new hobby or book a specific vacation just a quiet calculation made by a machine that successfully predicted your fatigue levels based on your chat history?
That is the perfect way to frame the simulation concept. It isn't that the physical world isn't real, it's that your path through it is being subtly engineered.
You're being steered.
Yeah. You think you are wandering through a forest, but you are actually walking on a treadmill with a VR headset on, and the algorithm is just swapping out the trees.
It blurs the line entirely.
It does. It blows it until you can't tell if an idea originated in your own head or if it was seamlessly planted there by a predictive model.
Precisely. And for a long time, the sheer abstraction of data kept people complacent. It is hard to feel threatened by ones and zeros sitting on a server farm thousands of miles away.
Out of sight, out of mind.
But when you reframe that data as a shadow file, as a digital clone that is being used to manipulate your real-world environment, the abstraction fades. It becomes deeply personal.
Which is exactly why we're seeing such a massive cultural shift right now. People aren't just shrugging this off anymore.
No, the pushback is real.
The reporting in the third article, The Rise of the Data Resistance, Humanity Confronts Its Digital Shadow, outlines this beautifully. It's not just tech watchdogs complaining on forums anymore.
It's much bigger than that.
There is a tangible, rapidly organizing resistance against this unseen surveillance.
It is one of the most critical developments in the modern tech landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Communities are rallying around the concept of ethical oversight and transparency.
They want accountability.
Absolutely.
Ah.
But what is unique about this movement, what the Parallel Observer highlights so well, is the shift in language.
How so?
This isn't just a push for better privacy settings on an app. It is a movement demanding fundamental human rights over digital identity.
Human rights, that elevates the whole conversation. But is this actually gaining mainstream traction? I mean, sometimes these movements can feel like fringe groups on Reddit yelling into the void. Are everyday people really waking up to this?
The evidence suggests they are, because we are hitting an inflection point. The aha moment occurs when a user actually sees the predictive power of their own shadow file in action.
Like when it gets a little too accurate.
Exactly. When an AI anticipates a major life event or a nuanced emotional state before the user has consciously processed it themselves, that level of intrusion breaks the illusion.
It wakes you up.
People realize they are no longer just passive consumers of a software product. They are the raw material being mined.
Right.
And so the demand shifts from stop tracking my clicks to show me the psychological model you have built of me and let me delete it.
Taking back the shadow. I love that framing. It moves the conversation from victimhood to empowerment. It's a demand to step outside of the algorithmic terrarium.
Reclaiming agency.
Yeah. But I want to bring this out of the abstract philosophy of data rights and drop it right into a high-stakes physical environment. Because here's where it gets really interesting.
The sports world.
Yes. Our next piece of source material looks at how this plays out in the sweat and blood reality of daily life. The article is Competitive Analysis. Athletes navigate the shadows of AI surveillance.
The sports arena serves as the perfect microcosm for this entire debate.
It really does.
Sports are inherently physical, highly measurable, and the financial stakes are astronomical. Every single tension we just discussed regarding the shadow file is magnified tenfold on the playing field or the track.
Absolutely. The piece details how athletes are basically covered in advanced telemetry.
It's way beyond a smartwatch.
Oh, totally. We aren't just talking about a heart rate monitor on a wrist strap. We are talking about smart clothing that measures micro tears in muscle tissue in real time.
Incredible technology.
We are talking about optical sensors tracking pupil dilation to measure cognitive fatigue and focus. We are talking about real-time sweat composition analysis sent directly to a coach's tablet to predict a cramp before the player even feels a twinge in their calf.
And we have to acknowledge the undeniable benefits here. This is the ultimate double-edged sword.
Sure, the upside is massive.
When you can analyze an athlete's physical state to that granular degree, the performance enhancements are unprecedented. You can optimize a recovery cycle down to the minute.
You keep them on the field longer.
You can fundamentally extend an athlete's career by engineering the injury risk out of their training regimen. The algorithms offer a level of biological perfection that human intuition simply cannot match.
Right, it's like giving an athlete a cheat code for their own body. But the dark side of that superpower is profound. The article explores the intense psychological toll this exacts on the competitors.
The anxiety must be crushing.
Imagine the mental weight of knowing you are under constant, unblinking surveillance. The coach isn't just watching your jump shot anymore.
No, an AI is watching it.
And AI is evaluating the exact degree of hesitation in your pivot foot and comparing it to a massive historical data set. It creates a deep-seated fear. These athletes aren't just playing against the opposing team anymore.
They are competing against the flawless predictive expectations of their own algorithmic shadow.
Man, that sounds exhausting.
And zooming out for a second, this hyper-surveillance threatens something much larger than the mental health of the individual player. It threatens the core integrity of the competition itself.
What I mean?
Think about why we watch sports. We watch them for the unpredictable triumph of the human spirit. We watch for the underdog who pushes past their physical limits through sheer force of will. We watch for the spontaneous spark of brilliance that no one saw coming.
The grit. The messy, unpredictable human grit.
Exactly. But when every movement is dictated by an AI's competitive analysis, when the coach pulls a player simply because the algorithm dictates their injury probability just ticked up by 2%, what are we actually watching?
It's practically scripted at that point.
We are no longer watching raw human effort. We are watching athletes perform as physical extensions of a data script. It transforms a dynamic competition into a physical simulation run by a server. It strips the soul out of the game.
If the unpredictability is engineered out, is it even a sport anymore, or is it just a complex math equation playing out on grass?
It's a great question.
It completely challenges our understanding of fairness and effort. And speaking of that unpredictable human element, that transitions perfectly into the final and frankly most poignant part of our source stack today.
The Maya Marcus story.
Yeah. Amidst all this heavy discussion about hidden archives, data resistance, and algorithmic sports, the Parallel Observer anchors their reporting with an ongoing, deeply human narrative. They follow the story of two individuals, Maya and Marcus.
The piece titled Maya and Marcus, Navigating Love in a Simulated Reality. It serves as a necessary counterbalance to the highly technical aspects of the other articles.
It really does. Because Maya and Marcus aren't fighting in a gladiator arena or hacking into mainframes. They are just trying to do what humans have always done.
Connect.
Yeah, they're trying to navigate a relationship, build trust, and find an authentic connection. But they have to do it against the backdrop of this heavily surveilled, predictive environment we've been dissecting.
Which complicates everything.
You can imagine a scenario where they are sitting across from each other at a restaurant that an algorithm suggested based on their overlapping geolocation data, trying to have a genuine conversation while knowing their dating apps and social feeds already calculated their compatibility score weeks ago.
It is a brilliant narrative choice by the author.
So smart.
By focusing on a micro-interaction like a developing romance, they capture the macro-existential struggle we all face.
If we connect this to the bigger picture.
Right, if we connect this to the bigger picture, Maya and Marcus represent our collective attempt to maintain our humanity in an increasingly non-human environment.
The stakes are so deeply personal.
The underlying tension of their story addresses a vital philosophical question. Can genuine, organic connection exist when the environment facilitating that connection is artificially simulated and constantly analyzed?
When your texts are drafted by predictive AI and your dates are optimized by behavioral data, how do you know the love is real and not just the path of least algorithmic resistance?
It's a terrifying thought.
It is. But
Yeah.
what is so beautiful about the way this story is framed is the resilience it highlights. Maya and Marcus find that despite the surveillance, despite the feeling that their interactions are being modeled, their connection actually breaks through the noise.
Which demonstrates a profound truth. The fundamental human need for connection is incredibly stubborn.
It really is.
It cannot be fully mapped or overwritten by an algorithm. The hidden archive might be able to capture the keystrokes of the messages they send each other, and it might note the timestamps of their conversations, but it cannot archive the raw lived experience of their bond.
You can't put that in a spreadsheet.
No, you can't. It proves that authenticity can not only survive, but thrive within artificiality.
It's almost like the ultimate act of rebellion.
Rebellious love.
In a world where every click and hesitation is commodified into a shadow file, choosing to genuinely, messily connect with another human being is a complete defiance of the predictive model. The simulation can't account for the spontaneity of actual love. I think for anyone feeling overwhelmed by everything we've talked about today, Maya and Marcus provide a massive beacon of hope.
They absolutely do. They remind us that while the architecture of our digital world is changing, the core of our humanity remains the one variable the system cannot entirely control.
So, what does this all mean for you as you close your browser and go about your day? We have covered a vast amount of ground.
A lot to process.
We started by looking under the hood of the illusory archive, exposing how our casual late-night AI chats and keystroke hesitations are being silently harvested to build permanent behavioral models. We broke down the reality of the algorithmic terrarium, questioning how much of our spontaneity is actually our own.
From there, we examine the tangible pushback. The data resistance isn't just a fringe concept.
Yanni Moore.
It is a vital, growing demand for ethical oversight and the reclamation of our digital shadows. We grounded these abstract concepts in the high-stakes world of sports, seeing how extreme biometric surveillance can optimize physical performance, but at the cost of intense anxiety and the potential loss of the human spirit in competition.
And finally, we found that stubborn ray of hope with Maya and Marcus, proving that the chaotic, unquantifiable nature of human connection can still break through the most heavily surveilled environments.
It's a powerful thought to hold on to.
It really is. It has been an incredibly dense journey through the sources today. But as we know, the tech landscape doesn't sit still. What does the parallel observer say is coming next down the pipeline?
Well, the conversation is only going to broaden. According to Grant's platform, upcoming deep dives will focus heavily on how this pervasive AI surveillance impacts general mental health.
Which, given the severe anxiety we discussed regarding the athletes, is going to be a crucial exploration.
Beyond that, they are tracking the burgeoning, high-level discussions around international treaties for data privacy.
Wow, international treaties.
Yes, we are looking at a potential shift from grassroots resistance to global diplomatic action. It will be fascinating to monitor how international law attempts to put guardrails around the simulation.
Regulating a shadow file on a global scale, I can only imagine the geopolitical headache that is going to cause.
It's going to be incredibly complex.
We will definitely be keeping our eyes glued to those developments, and we remind you that staying informed is your best defense. You have to stay curious, and you have to think critically about the tools you engage with.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap up today, we want to leave you with one final, deeply provocative thought to mull over. It builds on everything we've unpacked regarding these hidden archives.
This is the part that really sticks with you.
We know that these systems are silently hoarding your behavioral metadata, your specific quirks, your conversational rhythms, the exact way you construct a sentence when you're tired versus when you're excited.
They are building a shockingly perfect, permanent digital clone of you.
Exactly. But what happens when the technology advances just one step further? Could that algorithm eventually simulate you so accurately that your digital ghost continues to interact with the internet, send messages, and make predictive decisions long after you are physically gone?
It's a chilling prospect.
And if your shadow file can continue to seamlessly live your digital life perfectly without you, whose reality is it anyway?
It is a haunting but necessary question to consider as you navigate your interactions this week. Thank you for joining us, for engaging with these complex ideas, and for taking the time to truly examine the digital architecture shaping the world around you.
Keep questioning the systems, keep exploring the boundaries of your own digital footprint, and we will see you next time for another deep dive.